You think death is the end, that when the heart stops, the story stops. But what if the ending is an illusion? What if you never really die? For thousands of years, humans have stared into the darkness of death, searching for answers. Religion promised eternity. Science promised nothing. But now, something strange is happening. The two are beginning to overlap. Neuroscientists, physicists, and philosophers are asking the same forbidden question. What is consciousness? And where does it go when the brain stops? When the body dies, electrical activity in the brain drops to near zero. And yet, thousands of people report something extraordinary. They describe floating above their bodies, seeing doctors, hearing voices, feeling peace, light, and timeless awareness, while clinically dead. Science calls them near-death experiences. But no one can explain why they happen. Some researchers believe these visions are just the brain's last fireworks, a dying storm of neurons. Others say they're evidence that consciousness may not depend on the brain at all. Because if awareness can exist when the body doesn't, then maybe consciousness isn't something the brain creates. Maybe it's something the brain receives, like a radio picking up a signal. When the radio breaks, the signal doesn't end. This idea isn't new. It echoes across centuries of philosophy and physics. From Plato to Einstein, thinkers have whispered the same secret, that mind might be more fundamental than matter, that the universe itself might be conscious. Modern science is beginning to catch up. Quantum physicists have discovered that particles don't even exist in a single state until they're observed. Consciousness seems to influence reality at its most basic level. So what happens when that consciousness leaves the body? Does it dissolve? Or does it return to the field it came from? In 2014, doctors at the University of Southampton studied over 2,000 cardiac arrest patients. 40% reported awareness, while their hearts had stopped. One man described exact details of his resuscitation for 3 minutes after being declared clinically dead. The brain shouldn't have been capable of perception, and yet it was. We measure life by heartbeat, by breath, by time. But consciousness might not care about any of those things. Every time we dream, we enter a world without a body. Every thought we have exists without form. Every idea we create begins in a place science can't measure. Maybe consciousness isn't in the body. Maybe the body is in consciousness. Physicist Max Planck, father of quantum theory, once said, "I regard consciousness as fundamental. Everything else is derived from it." In other words, consciousness is not the product of matter. Matter is the expression of consciousness. If that's true, then death is not destruction. It's transformation. Like ice melting back into water. You don't disappear. You return to what you were always made of. Some call it the soul. Others, pure awareness. But whatever you call it, it's the one part of you that's never been born and can never die. The thoughts end. The memories fade. But the observer, the silent witness behind your eyes, remains. That's the part science can't explain and maybe never will. But there's a reason we fear death. Because we fear losing control. We fear losing self. Yet if you look closer, you'll see the self you think you are, the name, the body, the story, has already been dying since the day you were born. Cells die and replace themselves. Memories change. Personalities evolve. You've been 1,000 different people already. So what exactly is dying when you die? Maybe death isn't the end. Maybe it's the moment you wake up from the dream of being alive. And maybe the reason we can't find consciousness inside the brain is because we're looking in the wrong direction. Consciousness isn't in the brain. The brain is in consciousness. Everything you've ever seen, felt, loved, has happened inside awareness. You can't escape it because you are it. When the body ends, awareness doesn't vanish. It simply changes form. It returns home. So no, you never really die because you were never really alive the way you thought you were. You are the space where life happens. And that space has no beginning, no end, only awareness. The question isn't, what happens when you die? The question is, who's watching it happen?